It's up for grabs now!
Magic ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira!
Oh, would you believe it? Oh, right, what a way to get it!
Fabulous solo goal by pierre-emerick.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Lounge, everybody. Thank you for being here. My friend Lev, my co-host, my fellow lounger. How are you?
I'm good, man. I've 4 seasons in one day. I mean, in t-shirts. I've been in hats. I've been in coats. I just don't know what to do with myself. But I'm here, man. Thank you.
It's been a bit dodgy, the weather.
Crazy.
You're lucky
Crazy.
you're not experiencing any of this, Edu. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Well, here we're in winter, but it's looking quite sunny out there, so time to enjoy. Yeah.
All right. Well, you're good. The weather is good over there, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have the 4 seasons. When it's the summer, it's very hot. When it's winter, it's very cold and it snows. So we are a very unique country in some ways.
Very good. Very good. Right. Let's start with the game. Anybody watch the game?
I did.
You did. Did you watch it, Lev?
I caught bits of it, but I was out and about, so I didn't see it all. But I caught bits of it. There were some good bits and bad bits, but I'm sure Edu will fill us in.
I'll start just before I go into the game, Edu. Let me just say hi to everybody in the comments as well. We've got I don't know how to pronounce this. 6. How do you pronounce this, guys?
You do it.
It's a code.
6SHXFXY.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think his name is a code or something. So we've got him in the house, and we've got we've got Anantha, we've got people from Nigeria. Big up everybody. Thank you for watching and everything. Right, Edu. I watched a bit of a game as well. So I know a little, but go on, man. You watched the whole thing, so tell us how it unfolded.
I mean, it was a good game. I mean, typical Arsenal to concede a goal by missing out on possession when they're trying to build out from the back. In this case, on Nenny. So, but in general, I think it was a good game, and we could have scored more, but we are wasteful sometimes. Well, not sometimes, almost every time we are wasteful. So, I saw very good things about Sambi Lokonga. I was very impressed with Lacazette yet again. Pepe, for me, looks different. He looks way more precise, concise in possession as well. So I think he's going to have a big season. In terms of downsides, I mean, there wasn't many, but I mean, it's the siding of seeing players that shouldn't be playing here that are having this type of games to show what they have. It's like, well, what are you going to get from this? I don't know. Probably expose them in the market a bit more. And Ketia scored, so that could be a positive in terms of who could be interested. Watford were interested in him a few months ago, so maybe that turned an eye. So, yeah, in general, a preseason game, you can't take many takeaways from that. But I think, well, tomorrow we're probably going to announce White, and that's a new addition. So I think we're going to be looking forward to seeing him play more in a preseason game than watching the likes of Holding, Willian, and the likes.
Okay. We will go through the transfers, guys. So because Arsenal just finished playing, for those of you who don't know, they just had a friendly with Watford in the Arsenal training ground. We won 4-1. So we're just going to touch on that a little bit and then we'll move forward. Lev, did you see the goal we conceded?
Yeah, it's very similar to last season, right?
Now, I was just going to come to this. Do you remember we had a discussion with this, whether it was Leno's fault or at the time, I think it was another player. For today, who would you say? It's exactly a similar situation, isn't it?
And last season, it happened twice.
I've already seen on Twitter a lot of people saying, "Oh, Leno." Some people saying, "Oh, Lenny." What's your thoughts?
All right, last season it happened twice. One was for me Leno's fault. The other was the player's fault.
Yeah.
This one, I would say, is the player's fault. And I'll tell you what, he received the ball. He still managed to turn on it, but he lost the ball. Now, the problem we have is this. This is the way Arteta wants us to play. He wants us to build up from the back. He wants the Goldie to roll the ball into the midfielders and then have the ability to turn and pass it. This shows fundamentally that we don't have the players to play this way. right? We don't. If you look at other teams last season, it was quite evident. Yeah, when I watched Man City, Chelsea, all these types of teams, they were playing in tight spaces, so tight, and they were still managing to keep possession. We do not have the players in that midfield in particular and other areas to play the way Arteta wants to play. And until he makes those changes, we'll probably see more mistakes like this.
Can I give you a counter point of view?
I'm sure you will.
All right. So Elneny can't see what's behind him. Right? Leno can. Right?
Okay.
Because there's a guy that is between Elneny and Leno, and Leno is seen. There's a guy that is closing Elneny down. Yet he gives him the ball. This is what I said last time around as well. Right? I said sometimes when you pass in a ball to a player, you also need to think what is his options. Right? So when Leno is seen and Leno is being closed down, maybe just play along.
Okay, but we don't know what they've been told to do, though, do we?
I understand, but listen, you sometimes I think you need to use your common sense as a keeper a little bit. That Elneny is being closed down. There's a player right here as well, right? So there's two that could potentially close Elneny down and get the ball, and that's exactly what's happened. Just play along.
I agree with you in that aspect, but then again, you're a midfielder, you're a footballer. If you can't see that maybe you've received the ball in a bad area and you still then try to play out in a certain way that you put the rest of the team in danger, then you're still at fault. If you think it's a bad ball from the goalie, get rid of it. Right?
I agree. But this is one thing with Leno that I saw a couple of times last season, and this was again today, is you shouldn't under any circumstances play it to the ball. Sometimes clear it. You see Elneny, he's got the potential to lose the ball and they'll score. Clear it. It means nothing. Today is a friendly, but I liked Lacazette's second goal as well. That was really good. You see the chip. So that was really good goal as well. Let's go to the transfers. So
there wasn't a goal though.
It was a goal.
No, it hit the post and it went down. Aziz scored the fourth and Tierney scored the third.
No, Aziz scored a good goal, but Lacazette scored 2 goals.
No, he scored one. He scored the penalty.
You're right.
Are you watching? Was you watching this game? Because I said I didn't watch the game.
No, he's right. Tierney scored. The chip didn't. No. You're right.
It was an amazing effort, but
it was a good effort. No,
you're right. One thing that I have to say is that I'm very worried about Aubameyang. He's been non-existent.
I do. Stop.
Non-existent.
We'll come to this. We'll come to this, right? So just bear with me. I see a lot of people in the comments say this. Listen, I'm not saying Elneny it's not his fault. It's 100% Leno's fault. I'm just saying sometimes I would like Leno to use his common sense and just clear it away to avoid shit like that. Anyway,
communication.
Possibly. You touched this on this, but earlier. Apparently, Ben White was in Arsenal training ground today. He's passed his medical. He's getting announced tomorrow. Is that right, Edu?
I don't know if tomorrow, but I suppose between tomorrow or Friday. With Arsenal, you can never expect anything for certain because he could have a medical today, take his pictures today, but it's Arsenal. They take a long time and unpredictable.
They like to tease us a little bit, I think.
Exactly, but I mean, it's been like 3-4 weeks that we know the deal agreed. So come on, just announce the thing, and so we can all be at least happy for some signing. So I think it would be prudent to do it tomorrow.
The other player that we've been linked with is this Martinez guy from Inter Milan.
Lautaro, what a striker. I mean, he's an unbelievable player, but I really doubt that we can pull that off right now. Personally speaking.
I don't think we'll sign him whilst we have, I don't know, Lev, what your thoughts on this, but whilst we have, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Ketia, we're not going to sign this guy. So if we're inquiring about him, is it potentially Lacazette and Nketiah are looking at the exit door?
Well, I've been hearing that apparently we're looking at offloading Lacazette. They were talking about 15 to 20 million or something like that, which I don't know who's doing our deals at the moment. And to be honest with you,
what you're saying is too much or too little?
Look, right now, it's not like there's an abundance of strikers out there, is there? Like that are available. I mean, Lacazette is not some sort of a two-bob striker. He's a well-known striker. I mean, all right, it might not be cream of the crop, but he's maybe one level down, maybe a little bit. But we seem to, like you said before, we let these contracts run down. We put ourselves in a poor negotiation stance, and then we end up letting players like this, really that we should be making a lot more money on, go for a lot cheaper. So I'm not saying 15 million in the current situation with his contract the way it is might be too little, but for a player of his status and somebody that's he might not be firing on all cylinders, but he had a pretty decent season. He holds the ball up well. He's a good striker.
Yeah.
15 million. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, look at what Brewster went for from Liverpool, right? And you're telling me 15 million for Lacazette. There's something fundamentally wrong with the way we do business. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, it's another case of the club mismanaging the players' contracts, and now we've come to a situation where a player that we've purchased for a lot of money, I would be happy with 15 million pounds if they sell him for 15.
Yeah, only because we've let it run down to this.
Yeah, because
position.
we're going to lose him again from January. So basically, what are we now? Next week is August. So you got August, September, October, November, December. So 5 months, right? On a 6th month, he can start negotiating for free with other clubs. Yeah. Sorry, Edu, you want to say something?
Yes, I understand the context of wanting 20 million pounds because he's in the last year of his contract. But like, what really surprises me is that, given, like I said, is a good player, he offers a lot of things. I am surprised by the lack of suitors. I mean, I would have expected a few teams to come in for him already and pay that money. I mean, his wages are a problem. He's on like 180k a week, so not many can afford that. But look, the likes of West Ham, who have Europa League football, they need a center forward. Like I said, is a great fit for them, in my opinion. They could offer decent wages. He's still only 29. He's going to cost like 20 million pounds. I think that would be a great fit. He gets to stay in London as well. But like, that's my thing. I mean, you have to find the suitors, and I am quite surprised that he doesn't have, because every time I see him play, he's a very good footballer. I mean, he's not Arsenal standard of where we want to go, but like, for a lot of teams, he'd be good enough at least. So that's my take on that. And I would have wanted 25 billion or 20 million, but I think somebody's gonna pay 20 million personally if they come in. But that's just me.
You know what? Should we? I don't think there was a point that I wanted to talk to you guys, and I think we went past there, and I'd like to go back on it with regards to Ben White. So we spend 50 million pound on Ben White. Now, somebody told me that if you're spending the 50 million pound on a centre back, it means you got money to spend, right?
Absolutely.
So, and we've got this guy coming in, and for the past few days, I've seen this raging debate on Twitter and social media whether between Ben White signing and Rafael Varane signing. Have you seen that, Lev?
Yes.
Right. So, what's your thoughts on that? I think we've got a better deal here, but would you?
Okay. Look. Okay. If you want me to be perfectly honest, yeah. If someone said to me, "Do you want Varane at centre back or do you want Ben White at centre back?" I would have said Varane, right? Because he's ready-made. He's proved himself at the highest of levels, etc. But then, being realistic, why would someone like Varane come to us when someone else got Champions League football, Europe, and clearly in a better situation at the moment than we are? So realistically, we got to go for these up and comers like Ben White's, the ones that are maybe going to be hopefully worth 100 million in a season or two because he's so good. I don't know, but I don't think we're being realistic. Any fans being realistic at this stage, looking at the two clubs, Man United and us, where we're both at, expecting us to go for Varane at 45. Even if he is at 45, he would not have come to us over United. So we need to get real. That's my
Have you seen the financial package and the salary that he's on?
Who, Varane?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's definitely not an Arsenal thing. And plus, you're stuck with it. Listen, I don't know if he'll work out for him or not. I never wish on things not working out for somebody, right? But him coming to the Premier League is very different to the Spanish league, right? So he's new to a league, whereas Ben White is already established in a league. I would, if you told me you want Ben White at the close of last season, I would have said, no, I want something that is already established, someone who come in and make a difference. But I'm not so sure about Varane, especially on a financial package that he's on, and Man United are stuck with him on those figures. Edu, what's your thoughts on that?
So I think, sadly, I spiced that debate up, and it was because I tweeted that I think Ben White is a better investment than Rafael Varane.
Yes.
And that doesn't really mean that Varane's not the better player. He clearly is right now. He's world class, everything you want. But you have to take into consideration that from Ben White you can have 10 years of top quality football for £50 million and on 100k a week initially. So Rafael Varane, we don't even know if he already peaked. He's been on the top of his game since he was like 20. I remember Varane since I was like 10 years old, and he's still only 28. So this last 2 seasons, he hasn't been as great as previously. So we're not talking about a player that was indispensable for Real Madrid. They liked him. It's one of their legends, but like his level dropped considerably in the last few years. And that's why Eder Militao, Nacho, they had their opportunities there because Varane wasn't that great. So in my opinion, right now for Arsenal, it's more sensible to give a package to Ben White, who's an up-and-coming player, who's got a lot of great things to himself. Look, at first I didn't like the price. Of course, nobody wants to pay £50 million in a center back when you need an attacking midfielder, a center midfielder, a right back, and so many other things. But in general, if you look at long term, I think Ben White is a better investment. So that's my take. Ben White has the opportunity to be a great player. I don't think Varane's going to take other leaps to his level right now. I think he only regress from now.
Yeah. You know what? Can I just add to that? Yeah.
You certainly can.
Very, very quickly. All right.
Sure.
I agree with what we're saying here. Ben White has more of a ceiling. He might turn. Listen, in the next season or two, and anyone here pretends that they know exactly how he's going to turn out is lying, right? He could come in and he could be an absolute revolution. You should say revelation. You say to him, "Oh my God, great player, well worth 50 million, etc." But if we go back before Ben White's name was even mentioned, and you asked for a centre back, and someone said to you, Varane or White, what would 9 out of 10 Arsenal fans have said? You know, so
probably
that's
Varane.
You know,
absolutely Varane. But you have to understand as well that some fans have an emotional attachment to William Saliba, and they would have liked Varane because they see some of him in Saliba. So they would say, "Oh, it's a better mentor. He's world class right now." In generally speaking, you're completely right. But we're in a situation right now where we have to accept what is coming, and I think he has the potential to be somebody great. And look, it's not certain that Varane's going to be great for United or that White's going to be great for Arsenal. But we're going to have to wait and see. And the financial package right now, it's way better adjustment for Arsenal than for United, because United are in the salary cap that they're going to struggle when some of their players leave.
Yeah, I agree with Edu, and I think the point that you raised, which is good, is that Varane is at the peak of his playing, if you can call it that. You know, whereas Ben White can progress, and you know, maybe Varane from a year and a half, 2 years down the line is going to start, you know, declining. There is one thing I have to say though: Ben White transfer to Arsenal, I think he can't flop. There is not this excuse, right, of let him settle in. He doesn't know the Premier League.
Absolutely.
This. He can't, you know, give him time. None of that. He's got a very, very big price tag. He's already played in the Premier League. I think I expect him to come in and hit the ground running straight away. And I expect him to make a difference. If he does not make a difference, if he comes in, starts making mistakes, a bit wobbly, a bit shaky, the people going to be under pressure. £50 million for this guy. And
it's a huge outlay.
It's not working out. What's your thoughts on that, Lev?
Well, look, I agree with what you're saying, but then at the same time, playing devil's advocate, when Harry Maguire first joined United, he was a nightmare. He was terrible. He was making mistakes left, right, and centre. Everyone was saying, "Oh my God, they've spent 80 million on this guy. He's been useless." And then after the initial, you know, the mistakes and all of that, he slowly started to settle his way back in, and he ended up being one of the top performing, as much as it hurts to say it, one of the top performing centre backs in the Premier League. So yes, I agree with you. The price tag for Ben White is going to put a lot of pressure on him. But at the same time, I would say to fans, don't just jump on the guy's back if he makes a couple of mistakes, because it can happen. It's communication between centre backs and right backs and left backs, and you know they still got to learn how each other play. And he's coming in just before the start of the season. Typical Arsenal. He probably won't even start the first game. We'll probably have Cedric left back. We'll probably have right back. We'll probably have Tavares left back. We'll have El Neni and Partey in the middle, although Lokonga looks far better as a player. I wouldn't even be surprised if Lokonga, like Guendouzi, ends up playing far more in the centre midfield than we ever expected. But what I'm saying right now is be patient. Don't just jump on the guy's back. Look what happened to Maguire, and he's much more experienced. So I don't know, man. We got to just be smart about it. Be realistic.
Yeah, I just hope that he starts, because I just hope he works out, because from my point of view, I can only speak for myself, right? I expect Ben White to hit the ground right. There is no honeymoon period here. We're not in a place as a football club, as a team, or anything that we can, just give him some time, let him settle in. No, none of that shit. And I just disagree with you on something, Lev. I do not rate.
What?
I disagree with you on something, right?
Go on.
I do not rate Harry Maguire at all. I think he's one of these players that is being overrated.
You cannot deny.
That's my personal opinion.
No, listen, you're entitled to your opinion, and he's not my favorite player, right? I'm not going to say he is. But then again, look where United ended up. And, you know, he's clearly done a job for them where they've ended up in Champions League again. They've ended up in the top 2. You can't knock it. Look at where we've ended up.
He's a very, very lucky boy, and he's just sailing anyway.
I think he had a decent second half of the season.
Should we talk about the midfield?
Go ahead.
All right, midfield. So Lokonga is in. I ran a little poll on Twitter, right? And I asked people, if you had to choose one, would it be Odegaard, who is now apparently back in the scene, Maddison, or Aouar? And the result, I was actually surprised. Maddison 65%, 10% Aouar, and the rest Odegaard. So there's a lot of people. I think how many people voted? About maybe 700 people or something like that. So a lot of people are feeling Maddison, which is something I agree with. What, Lev? Did you vote, by the way?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Who did you vote for?
Maddison.
Well done, Sam. We agreed on something.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we're dividing the chat. The chat here is quite crazy. It's like looking at it, everyone's like agreeing with me or agreeing with you and whatever. Look, I do rate Odegaard as a player. I do. I think he's tidy. I think he's talented. I think there's more to come from him. But at the same time, I think Maddison's a little bit more dynamic. Like, he can get the ball, he can take on the player, he understands what the Premier League is about. Whereas I think Odegaard, ideally, we need them both, if you want my honest opinion. But
because you've got an opinion that Odegaard is actually a number 8. I remember having this discussion with you last season.
I don't think he's a 10. I really don't think he's a 10. Right, in my opinion, right? I think he's more of a tidy player who keeps the ball ticking over, gets the rhythm going. He's more of a conductor for me than a number 10. Everyone's got a different opinion, but number 10, he needs a little bit extra. He needs to be able to commit a player. He needs to be able to, create something out of nowhere. Whereas I think what Odegaard's talent is tight range of passing, changing it from side to side and suddenly just picking something out. So yeah, I do personally think he's more suited as an 8, but it's all about opinions.
I do.
I completely agree with that take. I think Odegaard's best season at Real Sociedad came from being a left center mid in a 4-3-3, which is being an 8, of course. And in that poll, in those 3 options, I think it's a blinding opinion for me that we have to get Maddison, because we are missing goal threat. We're missing that difference maker, the player that can take on 2 players in a short space, so he can then take a shot and score. So I think, in the way we play as well, 4-2-3-1, it seems like that's going to be the way forward as it's looking in preseason. I think Maddison's perfectly suited for that role, more than Odegaard and more than Aouar himself, because Aouar as well, he's more of an 8. He likes to drift out wide, like a CM left wing combo player. And I think we need a difference maker in the middle behind the striker. We haven't had that in a while. We tend to overlap with the fullbacks with Tierney. We like to put an inverted right back, but there's no difference maker in the middle. And I think that's our biggest problem. Because I don't think Emil Smith-Rowe, as great as he is, he's not a player that can create differences in the middle. I think he's a wide playmaker, kind of like Grealish. So I think we need that type of player in the middle, in those pockets of space, that can grab the ball, turn around and shoot, or give an assist or something like that. And I think Maddison's the perfect fit for that role.
Yeah, in short, Shaheen, we shouldn't be talking about Maddison or Odegaard. We should be talking about something like Odegaard or Aouar in that 8 role, right? Exactly. I think Maddison and ESR are similar types of players.
So you're saying Maddison is a given?
Yeah,
Right?
as
We
a
should
10.
go for him, and then we should go for either Awar or Odegaard.
Well, yeah, look at our midfield right now, right? Outside of Partey, who have we got? El Neni.
I disagree with that. That's another take that I disagree with you in that, and I think we need more of a 6.
How dare you disagree with me?
I think we need a 6 to partner Partey, a player that will settle, that can distribute and play 4-2-3-1. That's the way forward. It's evident. So
yeah, but if we had them in the squad, though, if we had someone like an Odegaard in the squad,
absolutely.
Look, do you want an El Neni or do you want an Odegaard to bring on? Do you know what I mean, or vice versa?
But you have to understand, where does El Neni play? He plays next to Partey. I don't think Odegaard will be good in that position. Personally.
No, I agree with you. We ideally want like a Bissouma next to Partey.
That type of player.
100%. I agree with you on that.
Talking about Bissouma, Edu, are we still where we are with Bissouma?
Exactly. It's the same situation as Awar. I mean, he's not our first choice, but he'll be ready to come if called. So it's going to be something that if we fail to bring the other targets, we're probably going to bring Bissouma, and I hope we do. I hope we fail. It's weird, but I hope we fail, and the other ones. I reckon.
I don't know. I have a feeling that Bissouma and Partey will be a solid midfield.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes,
will be a solid midfield. I just want to point something out before I carry on this discussion. If you guys are new, if you're watching us, please subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our Twitter, subscribe to our Instagram, follow Edu on Twitter, and follow us if you're new. We did a tweet about this earlier today, but going forward for rest of the season, every Monday evening, we're going to have Mo Haida, who will be with us, and we're going to talk about Arsenal, hopefully good results and happy podcasts and everything. But every Monday, he will be with us to discuss this. And we'll try to bring people on. Lee Judges will come on every now and then when he can. So, yeah, just keep an eye on that every Monday. Lev is working on a few good projects as well that are coming along. So there's good things coming up for next season. I personally... I didn't see a £50 million player in Odegaard in a 6 month that he was at Arsenal. You know,
absolutely.
It was a decent player. If we're going to go for Maddison, right? I'll guarantee you something. Leicester will not let him go on a cheap. They're a very well-run football club, and they will squeeze every penny out of Arsenal for Maddison if we're going to go for him, right? So I don't think we can afford to go for Maddison, Odegaard, right, and still address the right back issue, because remember, we're not good at selling players. We're selling Granit Xhaka for 20 million. Bellerin he may even go out on loan, right? So that's the one thing that, and if I have to prioritize this, I would say Maddison, because I think Maddison will contribute more than an Odegaard. And I didn't see a lot from Odegaard in the 6 month that was here that I would say, all right, 45, 30, 50 million to be dropped on a guy and it's all good. I think we need to be a bit clever with this. And I just hope that it's not going to be one of those situations that we're going to let it drag to the last minute, hoping Leicester, they will do a last minute deal and then they don't. And we haven't addressed the situation. And then we're left panicking last 1 or 2 days. Oh, we need to get a player in, and then we'll end up playing over the odds for something, which is a very Arsenal thing to do. So that has been addressed. Lev, I want to ask you something, because I know you've got a soft spot for Bissouma. Right? Why do you think we haven't signed him until now? And also, why do you think anybody else has gone in for him?
Oh, look, there's a few people in this chat saying, "Oh, he's too much like Partey" and all this sort of thing. I don't think so. I think he's got to, he does like to get up and down. I mean, look, you got to look at the midfields of old with Petit and Vieira, and we had Silva in there with others as well. I mean, look, we can play them together, but also if Partey gets injured, who else do we have that's any similar to him? You're going to fall back on El Neni. I don't want to fall back on El Neni. He's not good enough. So we do need somebody like that. But why? I don't know. We always seem to miss out the obvious. It's like someone in here mentioned Calvin Phillips. A season or two ago, I would have been all over him. Now he's way over odds. So we will wait on someone like Bissouma or Kante in the past. We'll wait. He'll go. Then he'll be worth 50, 60 million. And that'll be it. He'll be gone. So I have no idea why. There's other things to consider as well, like AFCON, like Maria said in here. Thank you, Maria. She's made some good points. We need to think about African nations and things like that. Who do we have as cover? I have no idea what's in our thought process right now, but we need to be getting rid of the El Nenis of this world and the Torreiras of this world, and we need to replace them with better quality. And I don't see why there's a problem with having a Bissouma in case a Partey's not around, or a Uar in case Odegaard's not around. Why are we not doing these sort of things? So I have no idea, but it's always something that keeps biting us in the arse over and over again.
Right.
I think I know the reason why.
Go on.
Please tell us.
It's that Bloom, the Brighton's owner, wants the same fee as they're getting for White for Bissouma.
That's because we stupidly paid it.
For him. he wants around 50 million pounds. So that's a very steep price if you ask me.
Well, if you're paying 50 million for your centre back, then it's right for you to look at your centre midfielder and say, well, if you're paying 50 million for my centre back,
premium for Ben White because he's
English.
That's not the point. He's still a centre back over a midfielder, and if you're paying 50 million for a centre back,
but I do think there are
if Bissouma was English, they would have asked for about 70.
Yeah, I think there are many options in midfield for a bit less than that price that you could look at. I understand that reasoning in that way.
Okay. Just before we move forward to speak about forwards, last player, what's happening with Torreira, Edu? Is there anything? Because I have not heard nothing about this.
There's absolutely nothing. I mean, we haven't even seen him return to preseason yet, so it's like he's a player, but
preseason. It's not like he was...
Exactly. He didn't play much at Copa America either, so. I mean, look, if you want to fight for your spot, at least go to preseason, try to impress in this type of game.
I don't think he wants to fight for his spot. I think he wants to leave.
Same. I think the same. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think.
But like finding a buyer for somebody like that, you're gonna get like 5 million, man, and that's gonna be disgraceful.
I don't know,
selling.
man. Lucas Torreira 5 million. I don't think that's a.
Look, who's gonna pay you 15 right now if he doesn't want to play?
5 million's loan money, isn't it?
Do you know how long he's got left on his contract?
He's got like 2 years.
I think it's not like he's not one of those players that is coming to the end, no?
He came in 2018, so it should.
Guys, if anybody knows how long he's got left in his contract,
let me see. Let me check.
Moving forward now to the front lines, right? So I'll start with Willian. He's been starting this preseason. He's been taking part. It doesn't look like a player that is on his way out. What is there any noise around him leaving, Edu? What's happening?
At the moment, no. I mean, it's been said that he's open to leaving, but like there's no offers yet, so that's a problem. I mean, the wages we offer, it's something that's graceful, man. And oh my god, I can't get enough of that situation.
Lev, it's one of those things, right? That we've put ourselves in a situation by overpaying somebody that now everybody's thinking we're not going to be able to afford him. Too much. His salary is too much. His salary is too much. So we have priced him out of the market again.
Is it the first time?
No,
we can't. How much dead wood are we still struggling to shift? Because
Kolasinac is another one.
Kolasinac, Mustafi was overpaid. I mean, if you look at some of these players, how much they've been paid, and we can't get rid of them.
Kolasinac, Lev, £100,000 a week.
100,000.
Yes,
it's ridiculous.
Because we signed him for free, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
It's still not worth 100,000. No. Yeah, whether you signed him for free or not, the negotiations that went on. I mean, even the Torreira contract, it ends at 2023. Incidentally, by the way, I'd still have Torreira over El Neni. Just to drop that in there, I'd rather get rid of El Neni and keep Torreira.
Do you know what? I don't know why. Lucas Torreira had a spell, right? That was really promising.
Yeah, and he looked like the real deal. Yeah,
he was, especially before coming to Arsenal. He was this short guy snapping around and mopping up, and he was good. I liked what I was seeing, and then just like that, I think with the entrance of Mr. Emery and whatever he wanted to do with him, playing him a bit further, the guy just gone downhill since. It didn't really work out for him in Atletico either, did it?
Yeah, he never played. He never played. So
Yeah.
it's a difficult situation to understand. Like, I remember when he scored against Spurs, I was like, oh my God, we have our midfielder
Yeah, I
right
remember
here,
that.
the next Kante. Everybody was buzzing, and then out of nowhere, he dropped out of like a fall from grace, and he never picked up.
Was it a fall from grace though? Being realistic, right? Every time I saw him, because I was at the Emirates, all the time I was watching him. Every time I saw him, he looked like one of our better midfielders.
Absolutely.
Is it a case that we dropped him a few times, he lost confidence, and it just faded? Because for me, there's no way someone like El Neni should be getting in ahead of Torreira. It doesn't make any sense to me. So yes, you can say it didn't work out, but at the same time, players are human. If you're going to work and someone doesn't rate you and doesn't like the work you do, eventually you start to lose confidence and you start to,
Yeah,
and that's what
but
happens.
he's getting paid handsomely. He's got the opportunities to prove everybody wrong, and like he doesn't want to take it. For me, that's weak mentality. So that
Yeah.
there's a thing about having low confidence, but you have to build your confidence back somehow.
Hmm.
You can't be not confident for the rest of your career because you got dropped. So you have to start proving the doubters wrong and playing better. That's the only thing you can do.
Someone's just reminded me we actually played him as a 10 once as well.
We did.
Yeah, that's
we
what I
did.
said when under Unai
Yeah.
Emery he was playing a little bit further forward.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Eddie Nketiah, he scored a good goal today.
Absolutely, that was
And,
an impressive goal. Not something I had seen from him before.
Yeah, he was playing on the left today. Apparently, he did okay as well. Anybody is potentially coming in for him?
I mean, there was rumors that Crystal Palace are interested, so that could be a way for him to go. He's got a year left on his contract as well, so you don't sell him now, you lose him for free.
Okay. Lacazette, anybody's coming in for him?
I think so. I personally think so. I think
Do you
that's
think
what we're looking
Lacazette
at.
will leave by?
I think so. You know why? Because I think that's why we're looking at Tammy Abraham.
Oh fucking! I'll rather keep Lacazette, man.
Quick question, yeah. Quick question. Obviously, Atletico have been sort of linked with Lacazette for a couple of seasons now. Suarez out of contract, right? Has he gone anywhere yet? Would that be a smart move? Lacazette out, Suarez in.
Somebody is at someone's door. Who's that?
Yeah. Somebody's outdoor.
Is that your door, Edu?
Yeah, it is. It is.
All right.
Can you tell her to wait
Let me
until
go
you're
check.
finished?
Let me go check and I'll come back.
It's his contact. He's in the know. Someone's coming to give him some.
What was he saying?
Right.
So he's saying Suarez, free transfer.
Suarez out of contract, right? Yeah. Wouldn't that have been a smart move? Do you know Suarez was I think he was top scorer last season in La Liga, wasn't he?
Hold on. Are you saying we should go for Suarez free contract?
I'm just saying.
I'm just trying to.
I'm just saying, isn't there something that they would have, like, if, for example, Atletico wanted Lacazette, obviously I would still want some money, but like, why would someone not consider Suarez for a season? He was great last season at Atletico, right? He gets you goals. That's one thing we're missing is goals. And if Aubameyang has a bad season like he did last season, one man that will get you goals is someone like Suarez. He's not going to, now at this age, he's probably not going to run a number 9 on his own, running up and down like he used to. But if you want goals, he'll get you goals.
Will he in the Premier League now?
He's 35. His body's not the best, so I think that wouldn't be wise. We have to go for somebody younger.
Yeah, man.
What, all right, Tammy Abrahams.
No, but look, what about this Martinez guy?
It's not the player. I think it's the profile. I don't think you can go.
I don't listen. There's another thing as well in this, right? That would Chelsea sell him to us?
I mean, I think so. For the right price, they want
to 40 million.
They want to fund Haaland. So they want to fund Haaland. So I think they wouldn't mind.
What about Martinez
as well? So
Edu, what about Martinez?
I mean, that's something that's not advanced at any point, and it's rather new, so I can't really tell you much. But I think it's very unrealistic. Lautaro
What's the fee?
I mean, it's going to be a very big fee. Although he has 2 years left in his contract, I would suppose something around 60, 70 million pounds. So it's not something we could say, oh, we have 70 for Maddison, we have 60 for Lautaro, and yeah, we're not selling, let's be honest. As much as we would like to spend that much, I don't think it's realistic.
We're more likely to get the Portuguese Martinez that we were linked with for years that we never got in.
Do you think?
Jackson.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a possibility that Arsenal will go for Griezmann?
I highly doubt it. I highly doubt we get a top caliber center forward.
I heard he wouldn't come to us anyway because of the way we handled him the last time around.
It could be as well. So I think, look, if we want Maddison, if we want a partner for Partey, we're not going to get a top center forward. Let's be honest. I mean, as hopeful as somebody can be, I think that's totally unrealistic.
Probably better off sticking with someone like Balogun and helping him come through.
Exactly. I absolutely agree with that. I think Balogun has a lot to prove.
Martinez as well.
He's 20 years old. So
not Martinez, Martinelli, sorry.
Yeah,
exactly.
Martinelli.
He can do a job there. I think we much rather spend those funds on getting top quality in the other positions, in my opinion. Okay. I wouldn't compromise CM or right back for a center forward right now.
On another note, it's highly unlikely that Aubameyang is going to have as bad a season he had last season. As I know you're worried. I know you're worried, Edu. But one thing, yeah, I know they are worried. But
Lev, can I just butt in? Wait, I will come to this Aubameyang business, right? So just to wrap up this transfer talk, Edu. So basically, we're more or less where we were last time we talked about transfers. Except that from now to end of the week, Arsenal potentially announced Ben White and he will come in.
Absolutely, yes.
So no new bids have come in. We haven't placed any bids for anybody. Granit xhaka is still allegedly on his way to Roma.
I mean, that's
still as we were.
It seems like he's walking to his medical from London. I mean, he's in a boat to somewhere, but because it's taking a hell of a long time.
Okay, so that, in a nutshell, basically is the Arsenal thing. Now, this is what I wanted to discuss for the remainder of the show. Okay, should we be worried about Aubameyang going forward? And who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Go on, Lev.
Okay. My concern with Aubameyang is this: if he's not scoring, he contributes very little to the overall play of the team. Okay, whereas someone like Lacazette, if he's not scoring, he still contributes to the overall play of the team. That's my concern. However, I'm going to go with stats. Obviously, not the stats of the final stages of Dortmund where he did fade away. This guy gets 20 plus goals a season on a regular. If we supply him, he will eventually start scoring again. He's a confidence player, but if he's not scoring, he contributes nothing, and that's why they're looking maybe at someone like a Tammy Abrahams to play that 9 role, running up and down, getting in behind, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm hoping he won't have a repeat of last season.
Edu, you're on mute, by the way.
I am incredibly worried because Aubameyang's not getting any younger, and he's a player that heavily relies on his pace, on his way to do different things with his body, and like it doesn't seem like he's there like he used to be before. And as Lev said, I think he offers short to nothing in the build-up. He doesn't. For me, it's very surprising that a player like 6'2", he can't really win a header against somebody that's 5'10", and he's never done it, which I am. It wasn't a worry before because he always used to get you goals, and he was usually in the score sheet and he was contributing, winning goals and things like that. But now it's a different story, you know, because like it seems like he's physically decreasing, and it's not the same. So I would be very worried, and I think we have to look at that position next summer without a doubt if Balogun doesn't make the step up.
We're stuck with him anyway, Shaheen, because we've given him a big contract, big money, right? No one's going to buy him, especially in this form. So we're going to have to work with him, and we're going to have to figure out a way of getting him back in form. I do think a lot of it, he started to get dejected with the way we were playing. We weren't really playing to his strengths, in my opinion. We weren't really putting the balls in the box, and he weren't getting in there. So I'm hoping we'll bring the best out of him.
I think I've been thinking about this for the past couple of days. I think the decline of Aubameyang started when we started to take out someone like Mesut Ozil from the team, and when he left, because Aubameyang's game is this: that you've got somebody in Arsenal. We used to have Ozil when he was at Dortmund. There's that guy, I forgot his name.
Reus?
No, yeah, Reus. That we were linked with him a few times as well.
Yep.
They used to play through balls. Right? Aubameyang would use his pace, beat the defender. He's in a very, very good position, 101 when the keeper, and he's a good finisher. He can finish. Or he's a 6-yard area player where he can finish. So he was getting 20 goals a season because we had players like Ozil, you know, we had creative players around that they would feed him, right? I will never forget the goal they scored against Leicester. Do you remember that? Where Ozil, you know, he just played it back to Aubameyang and he basically put in an empty net. Now, so Ozil, we've taken that aspect of our game out, and now we're playing him on the left wing. So he has to come back, right? Because he needs to help out in the defensive side of the game. So he's now doing things that he wasn't doing before in other clubs. He's doing things that doesn't suit his game. He's getting older. He's losing pace, right? And I agree that he's now dejected with the way that the team is now. You know, maybe the system that Arteta is now playing is not suited to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I always said this to Lev as well. I always preferred someone like Lacazette because Lacazette holds the ball up, right? If you got Aubameyang up front, pretty much only thing you will do with him is play through balls and he will run into it and you score. Because if you play a ball to him, he doesn't have that in him to hold the ball and involve everybody. He will do it every now and then, but not as much as Lacazette. Whereas Lacazette, he puts it about physically. You know, he challenges the defenders. He puts his body around. He holds the ball. And he's a good finisher as well. So, yes, I am, you know, worried about Aubameyang because this season, right? This season coming. If he has another bad season, it's done. It's finished.
Shaheen, can I just touch on that, what you've just said as well? Sorry to cut off your pro, but you've hit the nail on the head. And we were saying this last season in our shows. It's not just with Aubameyang. I think we had similar issues with Pepe. Because I saw many times where Pepe made early runs in behind and we were cutting it back inside. We were going this way, going that way. And the moment's gone. These guys are about speed of thought, right? Aubameyang is about speed of thought. He makes that extra, that early move. He gets picked out. We didn't have that player. He started getting dejected. He stopped making those runs. Pepe was making runs, coming back, and wasn't getting it. So you're right. The midfield was not helping, and that's why we need different types of players who can see things a lot quicker. You're 100% on the money with that.
Yeah, and I just think we in the past season or season and a half, we haven't used Aubameyang to his strength, if you like. You know, because player on the left. Come in, he's done okay. What he could have done, but you see in the decline. The irony is when we did have Ozil, we gave him Giroud with his back to goal, and he was having to play into feet. Now that we've given him somebody, we took Ozil out. Imagine,
don't make any sense.
Imagine when we had Ozil, Cazorla, Alexis Sanchez, and if we had Aubameyang up front then. That would have been a scary front line. Edu, what's your thoughts on what I just said?
Well, I mean, I think I agree. The planning throughout the years has been bad. I mean, we can all agree on that. So I think Aubameyang, I mean, you can excuse him a bit because of the setup, but like I think he has to offer more. He's a 63 million pound player, and if he can't hold the ball up, he can't really head the ball, and now he can't really beat somebody for pace or strength. What does he really offer to you? I mean, he's a wonderful goal scorer, but he's not getting into those positions as often as he used to be. And look, we have to try to get somebody that's gonna try to help him out a bit, because Pepe by himself, he's not a creator. We remember that season when we won the FA Cup. Pepe used to put crosses in the box for Aubameyang. Aubameyang was there. That was the Aubameyang we want to see. But he's not that Aubameyang anymore, and it's completely fair to say it. And you can criticize players for them to be better. I mean, it's not that you have an agenda against him or anything, but like, he's got to do better. He's the captain of the football club. He's the highest paid player, and yet it's looking like an Ozil 2.0 situation. So you have Xhaka, you have Smith-Rowe, you could potentially have Maddison, you have Partey from the back, and then do you have an excuse that you don't have creators then?
Yeah,
no, I mean, you're not going to have any excuse.
Yeah, the only problem is Arsenal as a football club are not really, especially now, in a position to then come out and spend all of these money, right, fix the team, and then you're going to have somebody that is not going to score goals for you up front, because we can't afford to finish another season outside of the European football, because we're seeing the effect now. You got someone like Manuel Locatelli that potentially he wants to go to Juventus and not us because we have no European football. This will go against you in future
Absolutely,
because you
and I
don't have
agree.
European football to offer to people.
However, I think we
go
have
on.
to rely on Aubameyang this season. I mean, I don't think there's another way to compete than not relying on him. I mean, personally, I have an unpopular opinion that Folarin Balogun is the most complete center forward at the club right now. Yet he doesn't get any chances. But you know, Aubameyang, he's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, renowned the last decade for being one of the top goal scorers in Europe. So you have to give him that second chance. He was due a bad season, but he cannot absolutely not have a stinker this season like he did last one.
Shaheen, I like to. I mean, there's a couple of people who said a few things in it. It's a fundamental thing that's gone wrong with Arsenal. We get the wrong players in the wrong places, and they don't complement each other. And someone in there, I think it was One Nation, hit the nail on the head. You had someone like Granit Xhaka, who's far more suited to La Liga or Italian leagues, whatever, getting the ball. Aubameyang looking for that quick early ball. And Xhaka would play inside, square it, slow the game down. And these are players that are not complementing the players you have. I still believe that Aubameyang is a 20-plus goal a season striker if we get the right people to give him the ammunition. And right now, that midfield needs to change. And my concern is I've not seen enough change in that midfield area to give me any confidence at this precise moment in time.
At this precise moment, and I agree with you, and I just want to clarify this. I wasn't saying we should sell Aubameyang. No, I'm just saying because
Absolutely
I think we should keep him, but I hope that he can be the player who bailed us out season in, season out. You know,
the difference
and I hope we can sign the players that will feed him these balls that he needs. We've got somebody who's always been supporting us. He's always been a regular. Why not sentiment? He's put a really interesting question that I'm going to put it on to both of you.
Go on, why not?
What has changed between Emery and Arteta? Who wants to go first?
Okay,
I'll go first.
Go on, Edu.
I think defensively speaking, I think we are way better. We have some more of a structure in what we want to go, where we want to achieve. In terms of the playing style, we are in some ways more clear of what the vision is. Of course, we haven't seen that advance and get things out of that, but I think personally, I think we look better than when Emery. I think other teams have gotten better as well. Look, I'm not Arteta in, or I put flowers out there for him because he hasn't been great. But you have to admit there's been improvements in key areas.
I'll answer that, Shaheen. Okay. The difference between Emery and Arteta, and I'll say this as someone who went to the games, for both managers. I saw them very close up. When Emery was there, I didn't see an identity. I didn't see how we were playing. There was no, I couldn't work it out. With Arteta, you can see what he's trying to do. The only problem is what he's trying to do is something that the cities of this world and the Chelseas of this world are now implementing, but they have got cream of the crop players. They can keep the ball in tight spaces. They can turn. They can keep possession and eye of the needle type passes. When you look at Arsenal, we don't have those players, so we can press maybe. But then those players can still play under pressure against us. We cannot play under pressure at this precise moment in time. Look at what happens when El Neni gets the ball into feet from Leno, or Xhaka gets the ball into feet from Leno. Okay, you could argue it's Leno's fault, but I guarantee you a Chelsea player or a City player would have found a way not to get caught in possession. So yes. I see identity, I see a style of play, but I don't see the players that implement that style of play at the moment.
Okay. I agree with Edu.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, no. I think he's shored up the defense a little bit more, but it has cost us going forward. And yeah, he doesn't have the players what he wants to do. But I'm not a big fan of Arteta, so I won't say anything. Brandon from Brandon TV, he's been on our channel a few times as well. Thanks for the super chat, man. Disappointing winning so far, even with the players we have signed. We're still 7th, 8th, best team in the league, and lack of outgoings is just diabolical. Yes, we have agreed and we've discussed this, and I'll let you guys comment on that.
Yes, totally. I think it's embarrassing until this moment in time what we've done so far. I think center back wasn't the priority. Spending £50 million on that is a huge bet, and you have to bring 3 other players at least to cover the positions that we have to address to go forward. And because our ambitions must be top 4. Let's be honest. We cannot say, "Oh, let's get Europa League," because we have been outside of the Champions League for like 5 years now. So there has to be a point where we have to break that curse and get back where we belong, because that's a reality. We belong in the Champions League.
Do you know what?
We're a big club.
You say this, yeah, but and correct me, both of you, if I'm wrong. I don't think the club's ambition this season is to finish in the top 4. They're certainly not moving the way they should be if they want to finish in the top 4.
I mean, look, we still have time. I think I have to be critical with that I don't think we have time. But I am praying, I am on my knees for that to happen, that we bring the likes of Maddison, somebody to partner Partey, a right back, and then we can go full strength, because we don't have any midweek games. So we don't have an excuse that we're tired, that we need rotation and things like that. There is no excuse not to get top 4 if you spend.
Well,
that's the thing.
From what you've seen so far in the transfer window, do you think the club's ambition is to finish in top 4?
It should be. It should be. You don't have any Champions League football. You don't have anything else to hold you back. You can concentrate all your efforts into this. This is one chance, an opportunity to say, right, let's go out. If you say you've got money, like that's being touted around, this is your chance to go, right, let's go and get these players. We only have to focus on the Premier League. Let's go for it. So if you're not focusing on a top 4 finish as a third biggest club in Britain, in England, and one of the biggest in the top 10 in the world, what are you doing? I mean, there's people in here saying, "Oh, it's a step down for Maddison to come from Leicester to Arsenal." That is absolute BS, because let's be honest, Liverpool was only a few seasons ago. They weren't winning the league. They weren't finishing in the top 4. It's only recently. And would they say that about Liverpool now? You're still a big club. You're still a massive, massive club. So you should be able to get the likes of your Maddisons and people. They should have had a Maddison type player in to really make a statement that we're serious this season. And one thing that's annoyed me is we've gone and faffed around with your Ben Whites and your Lokongas and this. And don't get me wrong, I think Lokonga looks a serious player. But make a statement. If you're serious, make a statement. You don't have European football, show that you're still serious. And right now, that's what's lacking. We're not showing intent.
But do you think the club's ambition is to finish in the top 4 based on the way they have conducted themselves in the transfer window?
At this precise moment in time, no. That is not top 4 finish window. Unless they turn around now and they pull off a Maddison and they pull off a Noir, then you can start saying, oh, we might be a little bit serious, right? But right now, as it stands, no, I don't think we're serious enough.
Right. I'm going to finish this in an interesting note, right? Before I'll put something towards both of you and you can say. But before that, guys, if you're new here, please subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit the like button. It helps us. And don't forget, every Monday going forward, we're going to do a podcast with Mo. So he's going to be here. We're going to discuss everything Arsenal. So just keep that in mind and everything. So Arsenal, with all the players they've got, right? Let's say they sign Maddison. Just Maddison.
Just Maddison.
Just Maddison. So we're going to keep this squad as it is. We're going to keep the players. We're going to sign just Maddison. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to make it even more interesting. They're going to sign Maddison and Aouar. I don't think they'll sign Maddison and Odegaard. They don't have money for that. Maddison and Aouar, for argument's sake. Right? What is it's a top what this window?
So you're saying, basically, just to clarify,
as it is,
if we get Aouar and Maddison, then I would say it could happen. We could be pushing for that. Because let's be honest here, right? If you want to put things into context, if Aubameyang didn't have such a bad season last season, and we added 15 goals to that, or whatever it is, and a couple of those games we won when we should have won and didn't lose, you know, like the sending offs and all these silly red cards we were getting, that some of them shouldn't even been a red card. We weren't even that far off, despite having such a poor season. So it is feasible, if you get an Aouar and a Maddison, to be pushing for that top 4. But without those two, it's highly unlikely.
Guys, in the comments, please tell us what you think as well. If we get, this is just for argument's sake, right? Aouar and Maddison, where do you think Arsenal potentially finish? Edu?
Well, for me, I don't think we have to get our and Madison, but like let's say Madison and somebody like Locatelli, if somehow we pull that off, I think it's top four. You have to get top four. I mean, you have a squad that's not going to have a midweek like fatigue, and you have to go out there and win every single game possible. We lost Andrew games by fine margins last season, and if you have difference makers in those positions, you'll probably get ahead of those and get over the finish line like we did in last time. So I think there is a chance at top four, being fourth, of course, because City, United, and Liverpool are probably going to be or even Chelsea. It's a very hard thing to accomplish, but you have to get there. You have to get there. I don't find a reason why not. You should be fighting for that. I mean, if you miss out for 1-2 points, okay, acceptable. But if you miss out by like 10, it's disgraceful and sackable offense.
I mean, the one thing I will say, Shaheen, is what really stood out last season is outside of our strongest 11, we lacked in depth, right? We did. We lacked in depth. We started falling back to the likes of your El Nenis and you know, your Chambers and this and your that. And I don't care what. And, yeah, xhaka at left back. What the hell was that? I mean, what sort of a top side as xhaka at left back? We knew that xhaka at left back would eventually cost us, and he did. So the fact is, you need strength in depth. The thing that took England through in the Euros was our strength in depth. Right? We need to get rid of your El Nenis, your Torreiras. Xhaka's got to go. And when we fall back on players, we need players that come in that are pushing the other player in that first 11 and have him looking over his shoulder, worrying that if he's not performing, he's gonna lose his position.
Got another super chat. Wayne, thank you again, my friend, for your kind donation. Wayne has done super chats for us before. It's very kind. We were 6 points from the fourth. How far are we? Is totally being blown out of proportion. 2 or 3 wins from top 4. One creative player away.
That was my point. Yeah, 100%. It wasn't that far off, was it?
Yeah, but you're losing Xhaka. You don't have much at CM now. You don't have an Odegaard. You don't have right back is going to be an issue. So and you have to take into consideration. City are going to probably add Kane. Chelsea are going to add their few. They're adding Koundé. Liverpool, they're going to add somebody. You have already United who signed Sancho and Varane. So the other teams are not getting any weaker. So those 4 points, there could be way more competition next year.
Very good. That will bring us nicely to the end of the show for this week. Lev, do you want to say anything to...
Oh, we've got a super chat.
Brandon, you managed to squeeze one in last minute.
Keep them coming, Brandon. Keep them coming. Oh, Shamik as well. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I'll throw money at me. All
right, guys. Brandon, thank you, and guys, follow Brandon as well. You know, he does good
lad. Good lad.
No excuses. No European football. Only playing once a week. Top 4 has to be expectation. Even if we don't get the likes of Maddison, a good manager changes the system to suit the players we have, in my opinion. I'm not going to comment on this because I'm an Arteta out guy and I don't want to lose it on here. So please
lose it. Go on. I dare you lose it.
I totally agree. I totally agree. It has to be the expectation. We're settling back as a fan base and accepting the mediocrity and saying, "Oh, it's not that bad. We made European football." No, that's not what Arsenal is about. We are a winning team. Victory through harmony. And we should expect nothing less from the board, from the players, and from everybody involved. Because we pay, we support, and we're every day after the club. So we deserve better.
Very good. This is for you, Edu. Shamik Rout. Edu, big fan from India. Just want to say hi.
Is that rupees? Is that rupees? Is that rupees?
It is rupees. 40 rupees.
How much is 40 rupees? Can someone tell me? I want to know,
man. And the fact that he's just done that to say hi to Edu.
Just to say hi, man.
Unbelievable. Thank you. I truly appreciate it.
Right. Guys, any more super chats? I just want to say goodbye now. If you guys got anything, this is the time to bring it in. But Lev, you want to say anything?
Right. All I'm going to say is this, right? I mean, we try to stay level-headed here. We're not negative. We're not like we just say what's happening, right? So at the end of the day, there's nothing more than we want than our team to do well, all right? And hopefully during the season, we're talking about how surprised we are, how well we're doing. However, I will say to the fan base, whatever happens, we need to remain unified. if it's not happening for the club, stop getting into accounts onto each other and all that sort of stuff. If you want change, it's got to be unified. As Edu rightly said, our motto is victory through harmony. So if we want change, it has to start with us. So we need to be together, and then whatever the club needs, we need to give them. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter. And I love you all, we're all Arsenal family.
Preach, Lev. Preach.
Big up.
Go on. Edu, you want to say anything?
Yes. Oh, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a huge season for us. We have to get back to Europe, and we have to stay unified. That's the thing. We, as a fan base, have the bad habit of being toxic.
Yep.
We create a war between ourselves when we have to be united to fight against the people that are making the changes for us. So I think we have to expect better, we have to demand better, and we have to hope for better, because like better times are going to be ahead. I am sure of that. We can't be any worse. So let's stick together for this season, and at the end, I hope we're all celebrating that we're going to be back in Champions League football.
Very good. I agree with you both. I hope we're going to have a positive season, and I hope Arsenal will give us something finally to be happy about, and you know, to watch the games happy and not be stressed out and not pulling our hair out. But thank you guys for watching us, giving us your time. Really appreciate it. Don't forget, every Monday we've got a podcast with Mo. Follow Eduardo. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Arsenal Lounge. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like. All the rest. It's been wonderful doing this as always, and hopefully we'll see you guys next time on Monday with Mo. You're about, Lev, right? You know that.
Yeah, man. Mo on the money, no problems.
Right.
I would always. I'm
maybe
there.
Edu as well. Edu, if you're free, maybe you can come,
Sure.
because we're playing Chelsea this Sunday as well. So hopefully there will be
Absolutely.
something to discuss.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be plenty to discuss. Let's just hope it's
Right.
positive.
Yeah, 100%. All right, guys, have a good evening, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.